All right, today let's totally reframe how you think about AI. Get this. What if the way you prep for a job interview, what if those exact same skills were the key to solving some of the world's biggest problems? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, stick with me because we're going to connect those dots.
So let's just start right here. I want this question front and center in your mind for the next few minutes. What problem will you solve? Seriously, think about it. Because you know what? It doesn't matter if it's something personal, like a me problem, or a huge global issue. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with knowing exactly what problem you're trying to fix.
Okay, first things first, we gotta get one thing straight. We are not talking about AI as some kind of magic 8-ball that just spits out answers. Nope. I want you to think of it less like an answer machine and way more like a thought partner. This is what we mean by collaborative AI. It's like a co-pilot for your brain. It's there to help you brainstorm, to analyze stuff, to create new things. It's not here to replace your thinking, it's here to make it a whole lot more powerful.
All right, so let's make this real. Let's start with what I like to call a me problem. Something that's all about you. And honestly, what's a bigger me problem than landing an awesome job? We're going to dig into how you can use AI to do more than just get through an interview. We're talking about showing off a skill that, trust me, companies are dying to find right now.
I mean, just think about the whole job hunt process, right? Finding the right roles, researching companies, that final follow-up email. There are a million little steps. And yeah, AI can be an amazing assistant for all of it. But, and this is a big but, it's not a mind reader. The help you get is only as good as the instructions you give. And that right there, that's the difference between just messing around with AI and actually mastering it. Okay, this slide, this pretty much says everything. Look at the left. That's what happens with a lazy prompt. You get AI slop, just generic, boring junk. But now, look at the right. With a sharp, critical prompt, you're not just getting a list of questions. No way. You're building a whole interview simulation for yourself. You're getting custom feedback. You are actively making yourself better. That, my friends, is AI mastery. So the big question is, how do you actually talk about this in an interview? You can't just walk in and say, yeah, I use AI. You got to be smarter. You use phrases like these. You say, I use AI as a thinking partner. Or, I have a process for fact-checking everything the AI gives me. See the difference? You're showing them you're not just a user. You're a manager of the tech. You're the conductor, making sure the orchestra plays in tune. That's who gets the job.
And here it is. This is the big pivot. That whole process we just talked about, defining the problem, giving the AI specific info, asking it tough questions, and steering it toward a good result, that is the skill. And here's the wild part. It doesn't matter if you're using that skill to land a job or, say, solve a global crisis. The core skill is exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the size of the problem.
Okay, so let's scale it up, shall we? Let's take that exact same skill set and point it at a huge we problem, an issue that affects all of us, making our roads safer. And we're going to look at this through the lens of something you've probably heard a lot about, autonomous vehicles, or AVs.
Let's just start with a number. 1.2 million. Let that sink in. That's not some old statistic. That is the number of people who die on the world's roads every single year. It's an absolutely staggering number, and so much of it is preventable.
And it's not just that. 50 million more people are injured or disabled. For young folks, it's literally one of the top ways they die. This isn't some abstract problem that happens over there. It's something that touches all of our communities. So how in the world do we take this idea of AI mastery and apply it to a problem this big? Well, you do what you always do. You make it specific. You bring it home. Let's just imagine for a second. You're a student in, let's say, Kansas City. How could you, personally, use these AI skills to help your city lead the way on this life-saving tech?
Well, you're not going to type how can AVs help Kansas City into a chatbot, right? That's AI slop. No, you're smarter than that. You'd use critical prompting. You would find a real-world document like that big report on AVs from the Texas Department of Transportation. You'd feed it to your AI partner and say, okay, analyze this, but adapt it for our city, for Kansas City's roads, our laws, our people. You see? You're using AI as a super-powered research assistant to build a real plan for your own community.
And that brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. The one variable that makes all the difference. And that's you. Seriously. Because at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. A powerful one for sure. But its impact, whether it actually solves problems, that all depends on the person at the keyboard. You are the conductor.
I love this quote because it just nails it. The goal isn't to become a programmer or know all the technical jargon. The goal is to be the manager of the AI, the conductor, the person who makes sure this powerful tool is being used right, that it's accurate, that it's safe, and that it's actually solving the problems we need it to solve. So look, if you take away just one thing from all this, I want it to be this. The real power of AI, it's not in the technology itself. It's not in the code. The power is in your ability to guide it. It's in your critical thinking, your creativity, your humanity. The power is in your hands.
Which brings us right back to the beginning. The skill you use to get a job is the same skill you can use to change the world. The process is the same. The only thing that changes is the size of the problem you decide to take on. So I'll ask you one more time. What problem are you going to solve tomorrow?